Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Pastor Aaron here with another go-around of interesting questions we sometimes don't think about. Today, let's get right into it. Today we're talking about why do we call God Father? Is it sexist? Is it exclusionary to do so? And why do we do it? That's basically where we're going to go. So let's get started on first, why do we call God Father? Well, this comes from Jesus. If you look through the Old Testament, you're not going to see references to God as Father very much. Of course, there would be some who would do it, but Jesus is the big proponent of this. Why is he the big proponent of this? Why does he reveal to us, if we believe God is revealed by Jesus perfectly, why does Jesus reveal God the Father? Well, the Exodus. The Exodus. Okay, Jesus is referring to that Exodus time when God set Israel free from slavery and bondage in Egypt. Moses led them out, right? Exodus 4:22, God says to Moses, "Hey Moses, go tell Pharaoh, Israel's my firstborn son. Let them go so they can come and worship me." Pharaoh says, "No, you know what happens." So that being said, skip ahead to Jesus' day, we have Jesus shown as the new and improved Moses, the awesome Exodus bringer extraordinaire, perfect Exodus bringer, not just from physical slavery, but slavery to sin and death and evil for all of creation. Jesus is bringing this Exodus from all of this stuff perfectly. And so he connects back to this God as Father image. Jesus reveals God the Father, the caring, loving parent, that protecting, guiding, leading parent, sacrificial parent. You know how parents give up everything for their kids, okay? And Jesus uses Father, okay? That's great. Fathers at their best are all of those things. Are mothers? Yes, they are. And some people, I suppose, would say, well, I didn't have a good father, and so don't offend me and don't call God Father. Now, this here, we've got to be very careful because we can be so proud of ourselves and think our opinion matters so much that we can place it onto everyone else. There's a lot of people who have bad fathers, but does that make the concept of fatherhood bad? No. There's lots of good fathers. Okay, lots of people have bad mothers. Does that make the concept of motherhood bad? No, it doesn't. Okay, we can have a bad experience at a restaurant. Does that make the whole concept of restaurants evil? No, it means that experience at that restaurant X was bad. That doesn't make all of them bad. You see, so we've got to be careful about thinking more of ourselves than we should in our own experiences. So Jesus calls God Father as the one who sets people, all creation, free, who leads on. Jesus in all of this to bring freedom to the creation that is enslaved to sin and death. Jesus is the bringer of Exodus. And he tells us, when you pray this way, our Father, because that's so much more intimate than saying our God. Because when we say our God, tell me what does the concept of God mean? Well, see, the only way you can do that is by start using big words like all-powerful, all-knowing, all-present, omniscient, omniwhosits, and omniwhatsits. And there's no intimacy in that. Jesus says, our Father. And you know what father at its best is. You know what parent at its best is. And so do I. That's why Jesus used it. That's why I love to use it too. It refers to God as loving parent. Okay? And we lose that. We actually throw that out when we say, well, no, we're smarter than that. Jesus must have surely meant, he must have not meant it, and we're smarter than that. So we'll just use generic language. Okay. Well, think about this. In Matthew 23, at the end of Matthew 23, just before, Holy Week events start with Jesus going into Jerusalem. He's lamenting over Jerusalem, and he says, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, a city that kills the prophets, how often I've wanted to gather you under my wings like a mother hen protects her children, her little chicks. A female image, a mother image. Jesus, as revealer of God, is saying this female mothering image. Okay, now should men get upset about that? No, it's just another mother at its best, refers to God, because God created men and women in, Genesis 1. Let us create them in our image, male and female. Okay, so we have this, in other places in the Old Testament, God takes on this feminine, this motherly idea, okay? Let's see, we have the chicks. Oh, and the Spirit of God in Hebrew, the Spirit, Father, Son, and Spirit. The Spirit of God is ruach, R-U-A-C-H. It's a feminine word. Like Spanish and French and all those other languages that have male and female nouns. Okay, that one happens, Hebrew's like that too, and it happens to be a feminine word. Okay, so women aren't being excluded in this. Mothers aren't being excluded in this. God in lots of places saying both, but Jesus is saying Father. Jesus saying Father. What we have to be careful of, again, here is being so arrogant as to assume that our experience should control the grand narrative of the world. Right? My experience, if you had a bad father, well, then I demand that we just say God. Well, there's lots of people, Christians, who've had bad mothers, and right. Now, when we say God, it takes away the connectivity of the whole thing. And we have to be careful of presentism. Presentism is when we think that we in the present are smarter than everybody in the past. We are more advanced, and our opinions count for more because we know and they didn't, and we can readjust. And we see this all the time. So be careful of doing that, thinking that, those old timers in the Bible, they didn't know anything and they were just sexist pigs, and so we're going to erase everything and do it our own way. Careful of that, because that's a double-edged sword. It can be done to us too by someone else. We're not as smart as we think we are that way. So, why do we call God Father? Because Jesus told us to. Because fathers at their best are protective, caring, guiding, leading, disciplining. Mothers at their best are the same thing. Okay? We know that men and women are created in God's image. And so calling God Father isn't exclusionary. It's intimacy building. So I'm going to leave it right there. Thanks. See you next time.